Well, hello, spontaneous kings and spontaneous queens. Another wonderful day of greatness. Another day that you can accomplish your dreams and opportunities to grow in all areas of your life. I am coming to you to bring you the topic. What would you do? Now, you don't have to get all technical with this or deep. I don't, but when I ask you the question, what would you do? I do not want a surface level answer. I want you to dig deep. I want you to ask this question like nobody is watching you. Answer this question like your life depending on it. And hopefully that I can give you some examples to shed some light on this topic, what it means to me. What would you do? Now, I noticed in the past couple of months or weeks or so that God has been shifting me to a different level, and I'm full aware of that level. But the thing is, sometimes when God shifts you, He don't give notice to everybody else. He only give that notice to you. And sometimes when He give that notice to you, people see you growing, blossoming, and evolving, but right before their eyes. And sometimes people can either love you or they can hate you. There's only two things you can do, love or hate. It ain't no between. And you can notice that sometimes the people that at first they love you, but then when they start to see your growth, they start seeing you reach certain heights, then they slowly start to hate you for some secret reason that they have. And I'm here to tell you that don't worry about what anybody else says. How they feel about you has to do with them. It's nothing to do with you. I just want to say that. How they feel about you is nothing to do with you and what are you doing. It's everything to do with them. And I just want you to stay strong in who you are and be bold in who you are no matter what. Some days you might not wake up, you might not even know yourself. Sometimes you may wake up and be like, okay, I know what I'm doing today. But make sure you're being bold in who you are. And make sure whenever you are being bold in who you are, you don't tear down another brother or another sister. Mm. Please do not tear down another brother or another sister in the process. Because guess what? You're gonna have to go back to that process or that step or however you process uh, your level. You have to go back to that level and try it again. You cannot build a strong foundation stepping on other people or hurting other people or throwing darts at other people. You can't, your foundation is never going to be strong doing that. It's going to always crumble. And I want to tell you a little story that happened to me. I remember whenever I was working in the medical field at that time, and I know that I was supposed to help this young lady, but she didn't see it at the time. And I was still growing in my faith too. I was still growing in my gift and everything, but I know for sure I was supposed to help her. And whatever the situation she was going through, it was probably the first time she would ever have experienced that. And I was the one to be able to come in there and say, look, I don't know what is happening at home, and I don't even care of the details. You don't have to tell me if you don't feel comfortable. But what I am going to do, I'm going to help stand in the gap, and I'm going to pray with you and your husband. For everyone who's coming on and listening, welcome, welcome, welcome. We're talking about what would you do? And that can be however you perceive or you take that message, what would you do? But I just don't want a surface level question. I want you to dig deep within. I want you to dig deep within and ask yourself. I don't want you to give me an answer that you think that I want to hear. I want you to answer that question on the best of your knowledge. What would you do? There's no correct or wrong. There's no right or wrong answer. So as I stand in the gap for her, my sister, I begin to pray with her. I begin to, while on the job, become her therapist. Become her therapist. Um, I invited her to church and everything. Just say I was selfless and I did every single thing so she could know that she wasn't by herself. And I got her. Now I was still growing in my gift, and I wasn't as strong as I am now today. But with that being said, instead of her perceiving that as I'm here to help her, she looked at it as another way. And then she began to, she didn't know at the time, but I knew, wish bad or pray bad things upon me. But the thing is, you don't know when you do that, those same things that you praying upon somebody or wish upon somebody, those are spells. Words have power, and because we give power to it. And I just want to say that all those things come back onto you. Now, the way that you give it out, it might come back to you differently, but it comes back in very forms, shapes, or whatever the case may be. But I'm asking this question: what would you do? Because when you know someone is doing something bad to tear you down purposely or to assassinate your character purposely or to find something wrong from you on purposely to show someone that, hey, this person ain't perfect, this person is doing this, so somebody, so it can stop somebody from blessing somebody else. I'm asking this question: what would you do? And for me in that situation, I had a choice: either use those same darts she was throwing at me and throw it back at her or that person, or use those same darts or those same bricks to build something beautiful with it. Okay? I was still serving, I was still trying to help this lady, even though after she was trying to purposely and maliciously tear me down. Now we're back in 2021 now. I'm saying that story happened to me in 2018. And I'm happy it happened. You know why I'm happy it happened? Because now how that came about, the same, almost the same scenario is happening now to me. And I'm happy that that happened. You know why? Because that forced me to go to my next level. And now I know that it's happening. I had a choice, and I'm making a choice to pray for those people. Mm. I made a choice to pray for those people. And now that I see it's happening, I can see it more crystal clear now. Because back then, my gift was still developing, and I didn't have no idea I had that gift. You understand? But now I know that I have that type of gift to discern when people wish good, when people wish bad, when people don't like me, when people are pretending to have a soft voice or have laughter or pretending to say nice things, but they really don't mean it. I don't take offense of it. And sometimes God wants you to confront them, sometimes you know. Because if I do that, if I try to go back and throw that on them, they're going to miss that lesson that God was trying to teach them in that season. So if you're purposely hurting someone or trying to assassinate their character or purposely trying to bring them down in some sort of way, I just want to let you know that's not good. And you're not being a friend. That's not a friend. A friend is going to be someone who is, I'm going to say it, a friend can mean so many different things to certain people. But if you call yourself a friend, if you're doing those type of acts, that's not a friend. That's an enemy. And it always been an enemy. Presented presented itself as a friend. And I'm asking you the hard question, what would you do? I made a choice to pray for somebody. And maybe they didn't know on purpose they was doing it. Subconscious or unconscious, they was doing it. But I made a choice to pray for that person. Because I don't know what's going on in their life or their experience in their childhood or the experience that they experience right now in their adulthood. I made a choice to pray for them. I made a choice to uplift them despite of. Now, you can't go bashing people and expect you to have some good stuff. So I had to ask you the hard question because I had to ask myself those questions too. You have to ask yourself those hard questions. What would you do? Or ask yourself, are you the one that's throwing the darts? Are you the one that are you the one that's throwing the bricks? Are you doing that? You have to ask yourself that. And another scenario happened years ago. I was supposed to be a part of something and they was like, "Oh yeah, girl. Oh yeah, boy. We're gonna do that. We're gonna do this. We're gonna do that." And in reality, they really don't want you to be a part of it. And for some odd reason, they don't want you to be a part of it. So if they don't want you to be a part of it, don't take offense of it. That's why you create your own platform for you to shine on. Because if we're family, brothers and sisters, like you say we are, we're not gonna outshine each other. We're not gonna outshine each other. And it's not about that. Some people would say they want you to do this with them, but when they start seeing you growing and evolving, sometimes that's when jealousy comes out. That's when enviness comes out. That's when the things that they see in you and they don't see in themselves start to come against you, and it's not on purpose. So sometimes they will steal all of your ideas, use it for their platform, and then throw you out of the midst and made it seem like it was them. But when it happens, it's okay. It's okay. You pray for that person, you move on, and you don't hold anything, withholding nothing. So I'm asking you the hardest question. What would you do if you was in a certain situation? It was hard for you at that time. Instead of you using those same weapons to fire back at them, but you choose to bless your enemies. You choose to bless them. You still choose to encourage them. You still choose to pray for them. What would you do? Now I'm gonna make this disclaimer. You can't expect somebody to be nice to you and do all those things that you want them to do, but you're not doing the same thing to them. You can't do that, and that's not right. So, ladies and gentlemen, I'm here to ask you the hard question. I'm here to step on some toes to ask you, what would you do in this certain situation? I choose love. I choose peace. I choose harmony. Even some days you may wake up, you don't want to choose love. You don't want to choose peace. Let's be honest. Some days you want to throw them hands. Some days you want to curse. Some days you want to do all of that. But by me trying to bring up a situation and make fun of somebody or try to throw darts at them or trying to make yourself irrelevant, because that's what you're trying to do, make yourself irrelevant by saying, oh, I've been with this person and you're not doing this and you're not doing that. Ask yourself, did that little thing bring you some fame? Did they bring you some extra money in your pocket? Did that boost your ego up a little bit? Did that make you feel better in that moment? Because that's not doing anything for the other person. So what would you do in that situation? Because a lot of people would not be where they are if it wasn't for certain type of people to lift them up. Now, even though they're lifting them up, they're not correcting their behavior sometimes. They're just letting them be. And that could be a dangerous situation as well. But for the people who are lifting them up, they choosing to lift them up, but correct them in love, that's beautiful. But you can't expect to be lifted up while stepping on someone. It just don't make sense, because if you lift it up, your whole body has to be up. You can't reach down and push somebody down and be lifted up at the same time. So I'm gonna ask this question again. What would you do? What would you do if you had to make a choice, good or bad? What would you do? I was talking to one of my good friends, and he was telling me that he was in the military, and he had to endure some things in his childhood, being with his father. His father raised him, and his mother had left him. Abandonment. So he had abandonment issues. And if you're listening to this, I love you. And you're going to be all right. And you already all right. So, with that being said, there's some other details in there too. What would you do? And that's a certain thing. That thing right there is actually connecting us together. It's not about me and that person being a different race. It's about that thing that thought was going to take us out, us being abandoned, us being looked down upon, doing something that we thought we didn't have to do. That very thing that thought was going to take us out, thought it was going to give us depression, give us whatever it was supposed to give us. That very same thing is connecting us today. And it is so beautiful to me. So he expounded on how it made him feel like the same person that he was trying to protect, it was the same person that abandoned him. That's a tough pill to swallow. Mm. So the nutrients he was supposed to get. Now, if you go back into the development stages, from zero born all the way into geriatrics or adulthood. It's certain different stages of your life you're supposed to receive different things. And if you don't receive those different things, something is lacking, something is missing. And as he began to explain that thing to me, and I'm just going to say this, I appreciated him so much because I could feel that he was just making himself pull it out of him. That was something that he only told God. And by him trusting me and telling me that, wow, what would you do? What would you do? What would you do? So, in closing, I want you to really sit down, make some time, actually carve out some time for yourself. And this time, I'm not going to tell you carve out 5 minutes, 10 minutes. No, give yourself an hour to deal with your mess. Give yourself time to heal. Give yourself time to process those things that you thought you would never get over. Give yourself time to process and verbally say it out your mouth, and then verbally say, hey, this no longer serves me, it's gone. I can't tell you how you're going to do it, whatever, but you know how you need to do it. But just give yourself time to heal from trauma. Give yourself time to heal from bondage, heal from abuse. Whatever you had to go through, give yourself time to heal. Mm. After you give yourself time to heal, that wound is covered up. There's no more tape over it. No more. It's actually like the scab. There's no more scab no more. It's no more scab. It's not itching no more. You know how the scab is get itchy. It's not itching no more. It's completely healed. After you completely heal, now ask yourself what you would do. Mm. Then ask yourself what would you do, because you're going to have a different perspective of life now. The lens is going to be off your eyes. You're going to see things that you never seen before. You're going to have a deep appreciation of life. Because sometimes when you're going through those dark places and those valleys, you feel like life is over. You feel like nobody in the world can understand you. You feel like only you can understand you, when there's a whole world of people that can understand you and connect with you. So after you get out of that place and go to the peak, then you be like, man, wait a minute. I didn't know the sky looked like this. I didn't know it was a birdhouse, a bird nest above my house. Wait a minute. Because you're too busy down looking at your problem. You're too busy down focusing on other people' problems or other people' faults or weaknesses, instead of you taking that same energy and pouring it towards you and building yourself up. What would you do? What would you do if you was faced with that? So hopefully I gotta find my therapy books that I have from school, my counseling books, and because a lot of people don't want to do it one-on-one. A lot of people don't want to say that they have a problem. You don't have a problem. I'm giving you solutions. You don't have a problem. Because we all, even me, we all go through stuff. We all go through it. And it's not up to you to keep stabbing somebody in the same wound. pushing people down. That's not your job to do that. Mm. So, with that being said, I'm gonna try to find those books so I can share some more wonderful knowledge with you guys. Then also, love on yourself. Start looking in the mirror. Ooh. Some people say shadow work. Some people said it's some there's other words that people use. Start looking in the mirror and start telling yourself that you are worthy. You are loved. Tell yourself that you love yourself. I love, say, Arshia or Spontaneous Queen. Girl, I love you. You are the bomb. You are wearing that hair. You are wearing that dress. How do you talk to yourself? How do you talk to others? It's time to start building yourself up. Building yourself up. It's time to start loving on yourself. It's time to start loving on other people and stop playing favoritism. Because people know when you used to support them, and now you feel like, oh, this person is doing something I want. This person is doing whatever. But Allah, God works. God works differently through other people. I know for a fact. God minister. He works through me through dance. It can be. I haven't did praise dance, but I used to do hip hop, step. I did all kind of dance styles. God works through me through comedy, laughter, and certain other ways he works through me. So it's not up to you to determine, oh, this person doing this and doing that. No, you have to focus on you. When you start to focus on you, then you will see, oh, I have this, I have this, I have this, I have this, I can do this, I can do that, you know. But I'm here to share the love and say I love you guys and all that good stuff. Today is a wonderful Sunday, a day that we never ever saw before. So guess what? It's wonderful opportunities for you to love thyself, work on your goals, work on your dreams. If you want to work on your dreams and your goals, you got to write down those steps, what you want on a piece of paper or your journal or tablet, whatever a device you use to write down your stuff. Work on those goals or work on the things that you need to, or the good habits you want to create, right? Write it down and then start tackling it one by one. You don't have to tackle all of them at one time though. Tackle them one by one. Hey, it might take you a week, it may take you 2 weeks, 3 weeks, whatever. Dance to the dance to your own drum beat. Don't dance to somebody else's drum beat. Because you dance to somebody else's drum beat, it's gonna throw you off that beat. I'm on my own drum beat. You understand? Be on your own drum beat. So whenever you on your own drum beat and I'm on my own drum beat, and then we join together, we're gonna be making some beautiful music because we on our own drum beat. You understand? We dancing to our own beats. Okay. So before I close, I remember I was in church. I'm going to tell you guys this because you didn't know. So when I was in church, when Spontaneous Queen Company was born, and then I wrote down every single thing I wanted to do in my company. And my ministry is completely different. My ministry is with R&B music, hip hop, old school music, gospel music. Yeah, my ministry is crazy cool. You understand? So when I wrote down all of those things and what I wanted to do, I knew for a fact that God didn't want me to do that in church. I knew that He wanted me to go outside of the church and do my ministry. And good thing for me, God allowed me not to. I didn't have to use a title in order to work in my ministry. I'm doing my ministry now. And I remember I was sitting in, I think it was Bible study, and I was just crying like, I was just crying like, because the pastor was asking like, "Oh shit, what's wrong?" I was like, God is allowing me to um, I was like, God is allowing me to. So when you're in church, they say work with unclean souls, with unclean people. You understand? So I knew that the type of people that was attracted to me, or he was attracting me to, was the people that wasn't in church already. I had a way to draw the people that wasn't in church and the people that was in church, and he allowed me to connect it with them on their level. Meaning, I can listen to hip hop music, R&B music. It can have cussing in it, and it doesn't affect me. And so the man of God was like, Arshia, calm down. He calmed down. You doing exactly what God wants you to do. That's your ministry. He said, God is strengthening you up right now. So whenever you go forward in that ministry, nothing is going to stop you because you're doing exactly what he wants you to do. Mm. So whatever you see me doing, my brain is full of laughter. My brain is full of dancing. My brain is full of gospel music, R&B music. Hell, whatever God say to do, I'm going to do it. You have to have that kind of crazy, kind of boldness in you. And I am that girl that have that crazy kind of boldness in me. So, and I remember it was tugging at me so bad because I was like, I'm singing up in the choir stand and I'm really practicing for the stage I'm going to be singing on. But I'm singing my church songs. But I was like, it was pulling me because I really want to sing R&B music, and it was like so many people saying you can sing R&B music, but change the message. You can sing R&B music, but you don't have to do this. That's what God. Let me tell you, God didn't put me in that box. People put you in those boxes. God didn't put me in those boxes because the same things you see me doing right now, those dancing, the singing, the R&B, the gospel music, I was doing that in high school. And that's why nothing could affect me then because I was doing my ministry and I didn't even know it. So every time I was sing, I would mess up one note or whatever because he knew I was a perfectionist. But one day I said, okay, God, I'm going to let go. I'm going to let God. And one of the reasons why I was messing up because I remember the lady that I was had introduced her to come to my church. She was secretly watching me on the live stream, and she knew that my song was For Your Glory. So whenever I get back into the workplace, she will be like kind of like trying to mimic me and make and mock me, but it was that spirit in her, and that will mess me up. But now I'm stronger now. You can't mess me up. I am God's child, and whatever I say I want, I will have, and I'm going to get it no matter what. And so when I began to let go, but it was other things that it was other external and internal things. No, it was external things that was going on with me. That's why I wasn't fully into the singing. I was singing, but I wasn't fully into it, supposed to be ministering to the people like I supposed to. But also was a part of my process because I had to go through that in order to be here. So right now, I don't have to wait to get to church just to praise God. I don't have to wait to get to church to say, God, I love you. I don't have to do all of that. I can do that anytime I want to. And that's the best thing that I can ever have for myself. So God is releasing the fullness over everybody. And I want you to take away from this message. Um, be bold in who you are. If you're broken right now in this season, it's okay. If you're hurt right now in this season, it's okay. If you feel like you're confident in this, that's where you're supposed to be in this season. Remember that you always are king and you are always going to be a queen. Even though you might be broken, or even you might be standing in your power. You still gonna be a king or a queen, but make sure that you develop your personal development in order for you to reach the full potential that you and God wants you to be at. Okay, so God is want you to reach your full potential. I want you to reach your full potential too. Let's say that. Let's just say that. Okay, so release the fullness of your spirit. Shekinah glory come. Shekinah glory come. Release the fullness of your spirit. Shekinah glory come. Shekinah glory come. Release the fullness of your spirit. Shekinah glory come. And also, wherever you're supposed to be at in your life, are you willing to sacrifice the things that's not giving you purpose? Are you willing to cut those things off? Are you willing to cut those friends off that's not serving you or not giving you the proper nutrients in order for you to get to your next level? Or it could be family, friends, it could be co-workers. Are you willing to go to the next level? Would your heart say yes? Mm. Will your heart and soul say yes? If I showed you what I really need, whoa, would your heart and soul say yes? Yeah, yes, yeah, yes. If I told you what I really need, would your heart and soul say yes? Yeah, yeah, yes. 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 Yeah, yeah. Say, I will be there, Jesus. Say, I will be there, Jesus. 'Cause this time I made up in my mind. I made up in my mind. Say yes. My heart says yes. My soul says yes. Say yeah, 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 yeah. Say yeah, 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 yes. My soul says yes. Come on, y'all. Would you say yes? Yes. Would you let go? Yes. All of the self-talk, bad self-talk. Yes. Yes. Come on. Yes. 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 I love you guys. If nobody ever told you they love you, or if you haven't heard you love you today, I love you. I love you enough to bring you out of that dry place, out of that season that you think is not serving you. But guess what? I'm here to bring notice unto you. It is serving you. It is necessary, but it's temporary. I love you to pieces. I love you to life. I don't love you to death. I love you to life. Be bold in who you are. Stand strong in your truth, even though no one's going to stand with you. Even though you may have to stand alone. Even though you might have to receive some bricks thrown at you, receive some arrows thrown at you. Be that crazy person that's going to stand along by yourself. But you think that you're alone, but you're not alone. God and his homies are with you, his angels. Okay? And know that I'm with you. I love you. I love you. I love you. I love you. And I'm sending hugs right now. I'm sending hugs through the broadcast. I'm sending love your way. I love you guys. Be bold in who you are. Spontaneous queen. I'm better than yesterday. I love you guys. Bye.